Hubby's pick me bro. On New Year's Eve, hubby's girl bro gift wrapped herself inside a crate and had her delivered to our house. The instant the lid flipped open, she shrieked happy birthday and hurled herself into hubby's arms. Right in front of me, the girl bro clamped hubby's head in her hands and gave him a 3-minute kiss. Afterward, everyone insisted it was just guys fooling around. But I know Jong Fei never gnawed on Guan Hale's lips. If they want to play house while hiding behind the bros label, I'll make sure the whole audience sees this special guys love. Before we go on, hit subscribe and tell us in the comment section where you're tuning in from. 1. Hubby's birthday falls exactly on New Year's Eve, so I'd started planning early and spent the day cooking a full spread to celebrate. When the doorbell rang, I figured the birthday cake I'd ordered had arrived. I opened the door, excited, and the delivery guy lumbered in, sweating, carrying a life-size gift crate. "Which one of you is Connor?" The sender said he has to sign for it personally. Hubby laughed and punched the nearest guys playfully. "Thanks for the surprise, brothers." The rest of the guys looked blank. "Wasn't us, must be Sophia's doing." I waved my hands. "Not me either." Hubby gave a knowing smirk, scribbled his name, and pried the lid open like a kid at Christmas. Out popped a woman done up like a life-size doll, launching herself straight into hubby's arms. "Happy birthday, Connor," surprised. Before either of us could react, she yanked his head down and raised herself on tiptoe to lock lips. 2. Hubby didn't resist. He actually looked like he was enjoying it. They stayed glued together for a full 3 minutes before separating, breathless. A silvery thread of saliva still linked them, leaving everything to the imagination. The woman wiped her smeared lipstick with a swagger, hooked an arm around hubby's neck and beamed. "So, Connor, like my birthday surprise?" "Geez, Tony, not fair, none of us ever got a present that big for our birthdays." The guys hooted, as if this level of intimacy were routine. "Relax, from now on you'll all get Connor-level gifts, just a heads up, if your girlfriend's the jealous type, opt out now." "No worries, who gets jealous of guys, right, Sophia?" Still stunned, I couldn't answer. I'd never imagined bros could be this X-rated. Tony flicked her golden curls and sniffed. "Sophia, you women are so high maintenance. If Connor and I actually wanted each other, you wouldn't even be in the picture." Hubby chimed in, "Yeah, babe, she's just one of the guys." Kissing her felt like gnawing a piece of pork belly, zero spark. "Fut, call me pork belly again and I'll tell your old what an ungrateful you are." Tony pouted. They started play wrestling while the crowd chanted "kiss her again," and I was the outsider. 3. The tussle rolled onto the couch and ended with Connor pinned underneath. Tony tugged his ear. "Don't forget your real day one, Connor. We wore diapers together. I'm the girl who'll grow old with you. Keep your priorities straight. Get off me, Tony, you're nothing like a girl." She cackled and pinched his butt. "Who wants to be a girl? All drama and zero chill." "Fine, you win, now let me up." Wincing, Connor surrendered. Satisfied, Tony offered a hand to pull him up, but underestimated her own strength. Despite all her guys talk, biology disagreed. She overbalanced and tumbled back into his arms. "You've porked up, Hale. Must be married life." Connor caught her waist, smug. "Compliments to the chef, your babe cooks, I balloon. 4-inch stop flaunting your so-called bliss. Marriage is love's grave, you're just the corpse inside." Tony slapped his cheeks, jealous that he praised me. Back when we dated, Connor hated anyone touching his face. Once I brushed it by accident and he sulked for hours. Now he practically purred while Tony toyed with him. Men really are cheap. The guys finally noticed my stony silence and shot Tony warning looks. She stood, grudgingly, and rolled her eyes at me. "I'm brutally honest, Sophia. If you've got a problem, spit it out, don't pull that frosty wife act." She lit a cigarette while talking. "Shut it. No one speaks to my babe like that. Sophia, Tony's just rough around the edges, ignore her." Connor slapped the cigarette away and reached for my arm. I jerked free, he felt contaminated. The public brush-off stung his ego. "Sophia, my friends are here. Don't be petty, go grab some booze. We're drinking till dawn." 5-inch sure, wait here. I nodded and walked to the bedroom. Connor, thinking I'd caved, smirked at his crew. Tony sprawled in the host chair, arms crossed. "Birthday boy, you get the seat of honor left of me." Don't get used to it. Connor rolled his sleeves theatrically. Yes, Taylor. Tony giggled. Everyone else laughed and took their places. I returned, stood at the table, and addressed them. I slaved over this feast, and you animals don't deserve a bite. Under their shocked stares I flipped the entire table. Broth, sauce, and glittering shards rained over them. Tony, dead center, caught the worst of it. She shrieked, slapping at her ruined outfit. Connor, your babes lost it. This doll look was for you, how dare she? Connor, drenched and humiliated, would never live this down with the guys. But before he could explode, I produced the stun baton I'd fetched from the bedroom and thumbed the power switch. Get the hell out of my house, now, or don't blame me for what happens next. 6. They all stared at the stun baton in my hand. Nobody dared step forward, and even the grumbling died to a whisper. When Tony realized I was really throwing them out, her eyes lit up. Connor, I told you your battle axe wouldn't want us crashing here. Come on, let's book a suite at the Grand. The rest of the guys chimed in. Connor, your wife's being ridiculous. Let's bounce before New Year's Eve gets ugly. Nobody wants bruises tonight. Connor, already the butt of their jokes, shot me a furious glare. Sophia, we'll settle this tomorrow. They shuffled toward the door in oil-stained clothes, looking like stray dogs. At the threshold, Tony glanced back, twitching her lips at me. Sophia, when we hit the hotel we'll obviously shower first. Relax, we're all guys here, nothing we haven't seen. I watched their taillights disappear, then flagged a rideshare and tailed them. If Connor and his guys were in the mood for fun, I'd make sure they got a memorable gift. I followed them all the way to the Grand, the swankiest hotel in town, gave them an hour to get cozy, and then dialed the cops. The officers burst in to find Tony and the guys playing poker in the nude. We've had a report of a group sex raid, everyone come with us. 7. Panic. They flailed between covering their faces and their junk, howling for towels and bedsheets. Connor was fastest. He snatched a duvet and wrapped himself and Tony together, eyes darting like a trapped rat. Tony recovered first, sneering at the officers. You've been pranked. We're just guys, platonic friends. Lose a hand, strip a piece. Big deal. Bodies are bodies. Quit acting like you've never seen anatomy. The more she bragged about her guy's code, the prouder she sounded. The lead cop's brows knitted. Clearly he hadn't met this breed of weird before. Connor clapped a hand over her mouth. Shut it, just stop. He turned, all smiles for the cops. Officers, honest mistake, we didn't break any laws. The other guys nodded frantically. Yeah, Tony's basically one of the dudes, nothing happened, swear. Being told she was unbangable stung. Tony's eyes reddened. She thrust her chest out. Sour grapes, boys. I'm stacked and you know it. Look all you want, no touching, just drool. Thanks to her rant, the whole crew was escorted to the station for paperwork. 8. After a lecture on public decency, the cops released them. I waited outside, letting snowflakes settle on my hair like tiny cold kisses. Just a little longer and this dumpster marriage would be over. Tony emerged, still center of the pack, demanding every guy send her a 1314 New Year lucky money envelope as penance. Connor spotted me, shook off her arm, and jogged over. Babe, you hate the cold, why didn't you wait in the car? Connor, let's get a divorce. He froze mid-reach for my hand, disbelief flooding his face. Sophia, it's New Year's Day, not April Fool's. Jokes like that hurt. I stepped back, putting air between us. I'm dead serious. The minute City Hall opens, we file. Though busy fake punching the guys, Tony had one ear on us. Hearing divorce, she bounded over. She looped an arm around Connor's neck. Congrats, champ, freedom. Drinks on me. Get lost, Tony. We're not guys, and we never will be. Come back when you grow a pair. Stunned, she kicked his shin hard. You jerk. I won't forgive that. 9. Watching Tony tear up and flee, Connor instinctively started after her, then caught himself and looked back as if expecting applause. Babe, I drove her off, see? Just bros being brothers. I love you. I'm not letting you go. He tried the cutesy voice that used to work. My heart stayed ice. He didn't love me more. I simply looked better on a Christmas card than she did. Tony was flat-chested, average-looking, fun for flirting, not for marrying. That calculation sickened me. Connor, if you fight the divorce, I'll email every uncle and cousin the HD clip of you tongue wrestling your girl bro. You filmed us. Rage blackened his eyes. I'd been shocked, yet sober enough to hit record, proud of that reflex. We loved each other once, let's end it with dignity. Too proud to beg, he spat, fine, whoever backs out is cursed, and stalked off to find Tony. 10. He located her surrounded by girls shouting. Shameless homewrecker. If you're that desperate, go work a corner. Even self-proclaimed dude, Tony cracked under the verbal slaps. Women are so petty. How many times do I have to say it was just guys' stuff? Quit hiding behind guy, you're screwing taken men. Keep them, we're done. They strutted away. Tony swung at her male entourage. Useless. Your girlfriends just dissed me and you stood there. Usually they'd leap to defend her, but this time they shoved her aside and chased after their partners. Abandoned, Tony yelled, "You'll get 0 perks from me ever again." They didn't even slow, familiarity had cost her the mystique. 11. Back home I started packing. The condo had been Connor's parents', our joint assets were 1 car and 30 grand in savings. I thanked heaven we hadn't had kids, then my stomach lurched, and I sprinted for the bathroom. I didn't realize my period was a week late until I'd thrown up every last drop of bile. I'd been so busy with New Year errands that I'd totally blanked on something this important. My hand slid instinctively to my flat stomach, and a flood of maternal tenderness washed over me. If I hadn't seen how Connor acts with his girl bro, I would have welcomed this tiny life with open arms. But right now the thought of Connor makes me sick. Anything tied to him has to be cut clean away. I clenched the hand still resting on my belly, my mind was made up. I'd married far from hometown and I didn't want mom and dad worrying, so I went through every test alone. Just as I was about to step into the termination suite, someone grabbed my arm from behind. Sophia, I knew it was you. You're pregnant, aren't you? This baby is half mine, and I won't let you end it. I swear I've learned my lesson. I'll block Tony on every app, just give me one more chance. Okay, 12 Connor, let go. My decision is final. The divorce goes through and so does this procedure. If you want kids so badly, go knock up your precious guys, she'd probably throw you a baby shower. I yanked my already red arm free with every ounce of strength I had. Connor stared at me like I'd stabbed him. Sophia, you're heartless. You'd kill your own flesh and blood. You're not even human. I glared back, ice cold. A man who plays tongue hockey with his girl bro doesn't get to lecture me on humanity, you lost that right. Before he could lunge again, a woman sprinted over and wrapped both arms around his waist. There you are, Connor, I've been hunting everywhere. Older insists I bring my boyfriend to the consult, says a good lay will fix my irregular periods. Lucky you, I'm granting you the honored role of temp boyfriend. Out of all my guys, you get this exclusive privilege, enjoy it. Women are such a pain. Should've booked a male doctor. Wait, Sophia, is that you? Unless my eyes deceive me, we're standing outside the termination suite. Tony let go of Connor's waist and bounded over. Oh my gosh, a baby, congrats. So why the cancellation, Sophia? Don't tell me the little angel isn't Connor's. Haha, Connor, looks like you're wearing cuckold horns. Connor swallowed the bait whole and snarled at me. Sophia, no wonder you want out, you've already got someone on the side. And here I thought I was being loyal, keeping my pants zipped. Tony's eyes sparked, she twisted the knife. Connor, you're too noble. Compared to Sophia's cheating, our little 3-minute was practically PG-13. Their faces turned my stomach all over again. I hit save on the video and dialed the call. The procedure could wait, teaching these 2 trash bins a lesson couldn't. The moment Connor heard 911, he lunged for my phone. A good Samaritan caught his arm mid-swing. Buddy, I've been listening. You team up with some side chick to bully your wife. Real manly. How dare you trash talk my guys? His wife is the cheater, let him go or I'll make you regret it. Tony charged forward, hands on hips, eyes blazing. Stop yelling guys every 5 seconds. Classic pick me. Dress it up as girl bro all you want, we both know you're just a side waiting for a promotion. The Good Samaritan flexed both muscle and vocabulary. Tony's dirty little secret laid bare, She rolled her eyes so hard I thought she'd faint. More spectators gathered. I raised my voice and recounted how Tony had gift-wrapped herself for Connor and delivered a steamy kiss. Everyone here had seen the type before. They jumped to my defense instantly. 14. Sis, that's brutal. A pick-me is worse than green tea or a White Lotus phony, trashes women while chasing men harder than anyone. Your husband's just as gross. He knows exactly what she wants and plays dumb so he can enjoy the ride. Purge those genes while you can. Exactly, we've got your back. Bringing their circus to a hospital? Savage them, girl. Thanks, everyone. I've already called the cops. I bowed deeply, grateful for their support. That was chef's kiss perfect. When the time comes, we'll all testify. Connor couldn't lift his head under the avalanche of scorn. He rued the day he'd agreed to escort Tony for her irregular issue. He tried to bolt, but the crowd formed a human barricade. Tony fared no better. Someone popped a button on her blouse in the chaos, and she had no clue who. She shrieked, "You women are insane. Must every man-woman hangout end in bed? Get your minds out of the gutter. I'm generous enough to let that slide, don't push me. Tony, if you're such one of the boys, why queue for gyno? Men's fertility clinic is down the hall." I'm not usually cruel, but for Tony I sharpened every syllable. 15-inch Sophia, you're just bitter Connor's willing to sit through my gyno visits. You brought this on yourself when you reported us for public indecency at the Grand New Year's Eve. She meant to sting me. Instead she handed me ammo. I broadcast the detail about them playing strip poker on New Year's Eve. Connor's face blackened as he ordered her to shut up. Tony scowled. Sophia, you're vile. Connor is still your man, how can you torch his name like that? I pretended to gasp. Correction, Tony, he's about to be my ex-hubby. From then on, he's your hubby. Laughter rippled through the hallway. You'll hear that. Your hubby, savage level maximum. Color drained from both their faces. They wanted a comeback but feared what else I might leak. Connor's brain screamed regrets for every stupid stunt he'd pulled with Tony. When officers arrived, Connor exhaled in relief, too soon. I wasn't bluffing. I intended to nail Tony for defamation. 16. I handed the clip to the cops. Bolstered by eyewitness statements, Tony's smear campaign was indefensible. Still, she kept barking. Sophia, I'm just a blunt, tomboy chick shooting my mouth, don't be petty. Connor, back me up here. Connor wanted to vanish, but guys' loyalty dies hard. Babe, you've trashed us plenty, call it even. And Tony's got a point, if the kid's mine, why the rush to abort? Connor, the very reason I'm ending this pregnancy is that the baby is yours. I'm pressing criminal charges against Tony. Since the two of you are such great guys, why don't you keep her company in a holding cell? The moment he heard how serious it was, Connor pulled back. Babe, don't joke about this. If I end up with a record, it could screw up our kid's civil service exam future. Even now, Connor still believed I wouldn't actually divorce him. Since he had no shame left, I saw no reason to stay polite. I kept my word and dropped their 3-minute tongue-wrestling clip straight into both the family WhatsApp chat and his boss's inbox. Within minutes, his phone wouldn't stop ringing. Connor darted around, sweaty and frantic, explaining himself to every caller, too busy to spare Tony a glance. Tony yanked on his arm twice. When he still ignored her, she slapped him so hard his phone flew from his ear. Connor, your babe's out to get me. Are you going to handle it or not? 17. Connor was already scrambling to protect his name and his job. Getting slapped in front of a crowd lit his fuse. He swung, cracking his palm across Tony's cheek. Bitch, you ran your mouth and pissed her off, so kneel and beg her yourself. Why drag me into it? I'm not your old. Tony had sailed through the guys' circle as one of the boys. She'd never been hit like this. She pressed a hand to her burning face, stunned. Connor, you hit me over a woman. I'll never forgive you. A few days in lockup. Bring it on. Sophia, I've got a guy's backbone, I'm not caving. No apology from me. Fine. Enjoy your vacation behind bars, I still wouldn't accept it. I didn't want some worthless sorry anyway. Watching Tony suffer sounded way better. The cops led Tony away. Connor kept speed dialing. No one blocked me, so I squared my shoulders and shoved open the termination suite door. Every mother loves her child, but before I could be a mom, I had to be me, and I refused to spend the rest of my life in agony. 18. After the procedure, I booked myself into a 5-star postpartum retreat. A mini-maternity leave is still maternity leave. I'd treat myself right. Connor never lets a grudge die. During my retreat, he called my manager, claiming I was sleeping around and should be fired. If anyone else said it, HR might shrug it off. But Connor was still my legal husband who'd volunteer to wear cuckold horns. His word carried weight. It was scorched earth pettiness, but it worked. To dodge a scandal, Hudson let me go with full severance, every penny the law required. Honestly, I'd wanted a new job anyway. Now I got paid to leave. In a twisted way, Connor did me a favor. The second my phone showed the company transfer, Connor rang. Sophia, how does it feel to be gut-stabbed by the one who vowed to love you? I can play dirty, too. You nuked my career, so I torched yours. His voice dripped venom. If he'd been within reach, he'd have swung. Connor, sure you want this war? I can coast for life. Mom and Dad will bankroll me. Can you say the same? My parents gave me the power to walk away. Connor had no safety net. He couldn't afford to coast. He knew he'd lose a war of attrition. After venting, he caved. Fine. City Hall divorce counter, 10 tomorrow. 19. Divorce felt like rebirth. I showed up in full glam, flawed eyeliner wings, bold lipstick, a sundress that hugged in all the right places. Married life had been chores, spreadsheets, and endless laundry. I hadn't had time to breathe, let alone dress up. Now I looked 21 again. Connor couldn't look away. Tony, stuck next to him in a plain white tee and jeans, suddenly felt the ground shift. Connor, you're almost free, don't choke. She's decked out like that to hook her next victim. Tony made sure I heard every word. Tony, want another tour behind bars? Dialing 911 takes 2 seconds. I wouldn't mind a repeat performance. Sophia, empty threat. I didn't name names. But sure, lock me up, free bed and meals, sounds like a holiday. Her bravado cracked, fear flashed in her eyes. Connor jerked his arm from her grip. Shut it. You brag about being one of the boys, yet you stir every pot. Tony opened her mouth, caught his glare, and swallowed the comeback. The paperwork flew through, we just had to survive the cooling-off month. Outside, Connor called after me. Sophia, if you change your mind within 30 days, we can pretend none of this happened. 20. I kept walking and flicked a hand. Connor, stop nauseating me. 30 days later, the certificate landed in my palm. Tony assumed vacancy had been filled. She draped herself over Connor's arm like a victory flag. I felt too light to argue until she shoved her face into my spotlight. Sophia, thanks for releasing my Connor. He's single now, so us guys can finally interact however we want. She hooked his neck and popped up on her toes, aiming a messy kiss. This time Connor didn't savor it. He shoved her to the pavement. Scrubbing his mouth, he snarled, Tony, you wrecked my marriage. Keep your girl bro paws off me, you make my skin crawl. Tony couldn't process the flip. Connor, don't play saint. You loved it before. Sophia's gone, no more excuse. Kiss me for real. Connor stared at the heap at his feet like she was trash. Tony, did you honestly think men marry flat, bony, zero feminine chicks like you? Flirt for laughs, sure. Wife you. Dream on. Every syllable carved her open worse than a blade. The tomboy who'd crowed she could outdrink, outburp, outbro them all cracked. She shoved to her feet, elbowed through the crowd, and sprinted into traffic. 21. She ran blind and fast, straight into an oncoming sedan. Even with the driver's foot slammed on the brake, the impact hurled her through the air. Tony was rushed to the hospital. Because the paramedics arrived in time, her life was saved, but she lost both legs forever. When her parents heard what had happened, they insisted Connor take responsibility. If he hadn't pushed her over the edge, this tragedy never would have happened. Tony's old was built like a bulldog. One look and you knew he wasn't someone to mess with. At first Connor kept swearing it wasn't his fault, but after a few solid punches from Tony's old he caved like the coward he was. She had lost 2 legs, yet she had married for love, so Tony flooded social media with sweet daily snapshots of her and Connor. Afraid the two of them might still try to drag me down, I kept tabs on her account through a burner profile. Tony updated almost every day. Through her camera, Connor was the picture of devotion, never once acting as if her disability bothered him. In their picture-perfect love story, I had somehow become the wicked witch blocking the prince and princess from living happily ever after. Clueless netizens flooded the comment section, cursing me to die a horrible death and threatening that any child I bore would be born without an asshole. There wasn't an insult they couldn't invent. But I'm no pushover. I screenshawed every slur and marched to the precinct with the evidence. That wasn't all. I also posted the video of Tony and Connor's 3-minute French kiss, proof that their lip-buddy friendship had never been platonic. 22. The clip blew up without me spending a cent on the trending tab. Tony and Connor were hit by cancel culture backlash so hard they'll never eat from the internet gravy train again. Tony refused to accept defeat and tried to relaunch under a new online persona, but she forgot. The internet never forgets. She'd played her followers for fools once. They weren't about to let her do it twice. Seeing the cheating pair crash and burn felt better than front row seats at a 4th of July fireworks show. I moved back to hometown, landed a steady 9 to 5, and let the past scatter like confetti in the wind. The peace didn't last long. One morning, the moment I stepped outside, a man blocked my path. Startled, I jumped back and whipped the stun baton from my purse. "Sophia, don't be scared, it's me, Connor." That voice was sickeningly familiar. My ex, the slimeball I'd hoped never to see again. "What do you want, Connor?" His knees buckled and he dropped to the sidewalk with a thud. "Sophia, only after the divorce did I realize how much I love you. I know I screwed up. Can you give me one more chance?" His shamelessness made me laugh out loud. "Does Tony know you're here?" "Sophia, don't mention that jinx of a woman. She's nothing but an obligation. You're my real love. To keep people from gossiping, you could even be my girl bro." 23. I had zero patience for his delusions. I yanked out my phone and dialed 911. "Connor, get lost or I swear I'll file a harassment report." He hadn't expected me to show zero mercy. His chest heaved with rage. "Sophia, we had years together and you're tossing it away like trash. You're heartless." "I treasured those years, Connor. You're the one who torched our marriage because you wanted to have your cake and eat it too. Truth is, I don't even hate Tony. If she hadn't showed up, I might never have seen you for who you really are. Now go scurry back to the hell you built for yourself. You earned every second of it." Seeing my thumb hover over the call button, he scrambled up and half ran, half crawled away. His stunt reminded me I needed to move again. My parents weren't getting any younger. A quieter, safer neighborhood would do us all good. Mom and Dad, terrified I'd get hurt again, never pressure me to remarry. They've decided life is fine exactly as it is. When life is good, there's no room to dwell on human garbage. One afternoon I was taking my parents to a studio for a family portrait when a long-lost old lit up my phone with a wall of texts. 24. This old used to date one of Connor's guys until the night Tony played strip poker with the guys at the Grand and the relationship imploded. She's married now, to a man who adores her, and they have a sweet little daughter. She's also a serial storyteller. Even when I don't reply, she keeps the messages coming. "Sophia, I wish you could see this with your own eyes. Connor never actually wanted Tony. A legless Tony? Even less. Word is he won't touch her, so her parents, desperate for a grandbaby, started spiking his drinks. After enough druggings, Tony got pregnant and Connor's body broke. Wanting marital bliss, Tony dragged him to a men's fertility clinic. Months of treatments later, Connor finally perked up. Of course he couldn't behave. A new girl bro, prettier and curvier, caught his eye. Tony went ballistic. 8 months pregnant, she waddled over to confront the new girl bro, who wasn't some pushover. She laid a 3-minute French kiss on Connor right in front of her. The look on Tony's face. Like she'd swallowed actual feces. Karma's boomerang smacked her good. She used the guy's act to flirt with everyone's boyfriends. Now the script's flipped. Serves her right. 25. I scrolled through every juicy line, pure schadenfreude. Tony had weaponized nausea. Now she was choking on the same bile. More messages kept pinging through. Tony's parents tied Connor to a chair and went to town on him. The new girl bro called 911. The cops hauled mom and dad away. Connor filed for divorce. Tony refused and used the unborn kid as leverage. Connor didn't care. He emptied their safe, loaded the valuables into his car, and bolted with the girl bro that very night. But karma had one last twist. They crashed on the interstate. Connor died on impact. The girl bro slipped into a vegetative state. Real love, huh? When Tony heard Connor was dead, she slit her wrists in a suicide pact. After the final message, I exhaled so long my lungs felt empty. Connor's ending was homemade poison, every drop self-brewed. If he'd kept his pants on and cherished what we had, we'd still be married. If he'd settled for Tony, they might have had an okay life. But enough was never in his vocabulary. He chased the next thrill like a junkie. The price? Total self-destruction. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, hit like and share it with your friends. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, we'd love to hear them. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.